Happy hump day, everyone. Wednesday, the 13th of December. 5 days till the kitchen arrives. So I'm hoping to get this place tidied up, cleared here. I'm going to let the plaster dry for another day before doing any more of this side. Just you can see down here that hasn't dried yet, so it's a different colour, still darker. And even the fireplace over there is still dark here. So I'll let that dry for the day. There's not much drying in here. Most days it's colder in here than it is outside, just because the house, it's like a good wood stove. It takes longer to heat up, but also it takes longer to cool down. There's also a bit of condensation in here. The fireplace, after replastering yesterday that was soaked before we stripped it off of the old plaster and wallpaper. So that is good. Today it's drying nicely. This wall up here was the same. When I went to plaster it yesterday, it was soaking wet. So I'm assuming the plaster is kind of absorbing the moisture and letting it breathe. The moisture has somewhere to go. It's not just sitting on the surface. So it's being absorbed in there and it'll eventually find its way out. So the lime render is the way to go, definitely on the stone. So that's nice and dry, even though the window is squeaky wet. Nice and dry. This morning I forgot to go to an appointment this afternoon, which you'll see most of the afternoon gone. I'm expecting the bits to install the window, the brackets, and some nuts and bolts and some SDS drill bits. So I'm going to prep. I need to just chop away up here and make sure the opening is big enough for the window that we have there. The post usually arrives at 10:30, 11:45, depending on who's working. So I'm going to spend a few minutes now just to chip away this old plaster up here, just to expose the side of the window. I'll take a few measurements and yeah, might be kind of rushing things a bit, but if the bits and bobs arrive, I might whip out that window and whip it in. Bit ambitious before 12:30, 10 o'clock now. Probably a tad ambitious, but sure, we love a good challenge here. See the challenge video about insulating the floor in 60 minutes, which failed. Anyway, have a great day. See you all later. Wow. Boom, 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 boom. Now these openings are a little smaller than the windows. The windows are stock size. It was cheaper to get stock sizes than to get custom sizes, but it was close. It was within 30 millimeters, but they're all slightly different anyway. So the plan is to just increase the opening a little bit. That's the beauty of working with stone, is that we can just chip away at it. I say that now, it might be a disaster. So 1070 is our opening size of our new window. Here, depending on where you measure, if I measure here to here, I have 1070 there, so I have space there. I just have to take away some of this plaster, so I'm going to try and get as much done now before they actually arrive. And see, that's 1045, but you know, there's 1070 there, and look, the top to bottom is the definitive, because we have our lintel here, our wooden lintel at the top. So our size up here, I can't go down anymore because of the window. So we've 1800 there. I'm gonna go check this and see what size it is. You stay there. You're still with me. I have you on mic. Oh hey, 1785. 1785. So we have from the top of the existing window here to the windowsill, 1800. So I think I'll just pick off some of this plaster now, just to peel that back to stone. Fingers crossed. 10:20 now. Didn't take long. 10:20 now, and keep an eye out for the post. We might get a window in today. So now with that plaster off the wall, I kind of like the stone on the edge. I wonder, would it be a nice feature if we left that exposed just on the reveals. Because, you know, we're not really in the farmhousey look, but I think it might be nice. What do people think? Leave a stone reveal, do a really delicate plaster in the joints. I'm not sure. 1070 is the magic number. Let's see what we're getting now with the plaster off. 1090. We're good on the size on this window anyway. I don't have to do a lot of chipping away. So after removing the plaster, I have the window frame there. I have it sitting backwards at the moment just to see if it fits. And it does. It's a little bit tight, but it should go in there. There's 40 mil of the difference between the new frame and the old frame. But as you can see, there's easily 20 mil on that side and more on that side. You can see more on that side. So I think once it's out, it's all cleaned up. It'll be fine. Oh yeah, I like the natural wood finish. A little bit different. I don't think we'll have time for the to put it in this morning. 10:56. I have about an hour and a half here before I have to leave. Post person hasn't arrived yet. Well, that's been decided for me. The post lady has come and gone. I was stalking her through the window and I could hear the door sliding. I thought she'd gone back to get me bits and bobs, but she didn't. She just drove off. So 11:20. I was going to try and do it in the hour, but thankfully that's been decided for me. So tomorrow, hopefully the stuff will arrive. I'll take my time doing this first window, but it's all prepped now. I think once this comes out, I'll need to tidy up in the edges a little bit more and then slide her home. And I think we'll be good to go. So I came back after the appointment today. I picked up some wood while we were out. It was a little bit more expensive. It's a nice finished plain bit of wood. Probably overkill for what we have, but it was the right dimensions. Quite narrow. It's 28 mil by 90 mil, so it's quite rigid. Turn on its side. So I've just put these little noggins in here. Another one here. I've left this open for the moment here because now if you had an electrician, I'd ask him, but the cables are coming up here. I just need to know where he wants to go with them. We'll get a few noggins in here. It's, the door itself is only out by 6 mil off square. It's, I suppose, a lot in door terms, but I'm just going to make it up in the door rather than trying to. I couldn't lift up either side of the frame. So I had to look, we'll work with it. And I had to cut a kind of a wedge shape in the top cross member, which goes under here. So look, if there, there was no weight on that, but by the time I plaster and fill these gaps, if it has to sit on something, it'll sit on this, which is attached to the floor. So a few more noggins to go in, a few more screws inside here in the bedroom. I was able to save the door jamb It's probably the only bit of wood I didn't show out that I had taken off for whatever reason. I kept it. I was a bit of patching to do, and I had to cut off this section here, and I had to cut off the bottom section. And actually a bit of rot in the bottom section. So there was definitely some leaks in the bathroom. So the door closes nicely now, which is good, which is a big plus considering. And I noticed this. I was like, what's that? On the door frame, and then I spotted this. So it's a bit of an old privacy lock for the bedroom. I'm going to leave that on just in case. So that's it, yeah. I'll chat to you all tomorrow.